Howdy there, y'all. Welcome back to Dining Room Dance Party, your favorite page with guy who rambles too much about fashion things that he technically knows very little about. This week, I have no clue what to talk to y'all about. I'm gonna be honest, I tried to script out a video and think, what do I wanna say this week? What little nugget of wisdom can I share with these people who for some reason value my opinion? And I thought, you know what? I have no clue. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to share with y'all. So I thought, you know what? Today, we're just gonna do show and tell. So I hope y'all all brought something because, I mean, it can't just be a one-man show and tell, right? Y'all gotta bring something to show and tell. That's how it works. Who showed up to their second grade show and tell and was like, oh yeah, everybody brought something cool, but me, I just brought myself. Actually, if you did that, you were probably pretty cool. That's a pretty badass move. So maybe I take that back. The theme of today's show and tell is shoes. Now I have way too many shoes for one man to own. I mean, I'm very grateful. I get gifted a lot of shoes. I get given a lot of shoes. I have bought a lot of these shoes as well, but I think at this point, the majority of the shoes in my closet have been gifted to me. And that just ends up with me having, like I said, way too many shoes for one man to own. So I'm gonna show y'all my favorites because it would take way too long to show y'all all of them. And yeah, I mean, let's go through some shoes. Shoe tour. The shoes that I always start with anytime I make a video talking about shoes are my Acne Studio loafers, which many people, if you follow me outside of here or even sometimes on this channel, you might have seen these. These are like just the greatest shoes I've ever owned. They are absolute works of art. I am in love with them. I'm obsessed with them. Everything about them is absolutely perfect. The color, the fit, the comfortability, the sound they make when I walk. Everything about these is 10 out of 10. These shoes have served me so well, and the way that I actually got them is kind of a fun story. When I've got my first like ever brand deal on TikTok, like my first like big brand deal where I was like, oh my gosh, this is a stupid amount of this is way too much money for one person to make off of a video. I was out with my friends after that my friend Garrett. A lot of y'all might know Garrett, but I was out with him for his birthday, and he wanted to go into the Acne Studio store to try on a pair of jeans, and I was like, heck yeah, that sounds sick, let's go in. And I ended up seeing these shoes in black, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are beautiful. And this is the part where it gets fun. I'm talking to the sales associate, and she's like, oh, you know what? We actually have a pair of these in the back in red. They are a women's shoe, and they're like the last pair in a size that might fit you. And I'm like, that's awesome. Let me try them on. So she brings out the shoes. I try them on. At the time, they are incredibly expensive. They're still incredibly expensive. I'd never spent money on anything like this in my life, at least this absurd amount of money. And I try them on, and I instantly fall in love with them. And the kicker that really sold me was the sales associate who was trying to get me to buy the shoes was very cute, and I was quite enamored by her appearance and the way that she talked and the sound of her voice. Being a little flustered, she said, oh my gosh, those look so great on you. Those were made for you. And I was like, oh, you're so right. I'm gonna buy them. I folded so hard. I folded hard. Honestly, I don't regret it even in the slightest. Right after that, she told me, oh, funny story, they're actually on sale for like 40% off or something like that. And I was like, okay, maybe this is meant to be. And that is the story of how I got these shoes. These are things that honestly, hopefully I can get repaired by a cobbler when they get destroyed and hand down to my kids one day, but not much more to say. I love them, and I'm very grateful I own them. Another pair of loafers, I have these from Octobre editions. These are some beautiful loafers. I've always loved the look of like these, I think they're called penguin loafers, or like, at least that's what I call them. I call them my penguin loafers. I've really loved the look of these. I feel like they are just a very classy loafer, and I love the added white detail because I really love Mary Janes, and these kind of like give the feeling of a Mary Jane. It's because I normally wear because I really like to wear white socks, so they kind of like give a Mary Jane feel while still being, you know, a quote unquote masculine loafer. These again have literal miles on them. They're super comfortable, and I couldn't recommend them enough. These are a newer pair of shoes. These are a pair of shoes that I was gifted. Actually, the last loafers I was also gifted the Octobre ones. These were gifted to me by a footwear company called Ponder. I think this guy hand makes these shoes. They are, well, let me just say this. This guy reached out to me and said, hey, do you want a pair of shoes? And I looked at them and I was like, oh my gosh, these look beautiful. I would love a pair. I was very afraid that they would be super uncomfortable when I got them. And then when I got them and I tried them on, they are actually wildly comfortable. I was genuinely shocked. Like, I thought that they were going to be terrible to wear, but these are some of the most comfortable shoes I own. They are some of the most fun shoes that I own. I'm obsessed with them. I can't say enough good things about them, so much so that this guy actually also offered to send me them in this cream colorway, and that was absolutely not a deal that I was going to turn down. I am so obsessed. These have been daily drivers for me this winter. Not these cream ones, the black ones, but now that I have them in this beautiful cream color with like these brown accents, I'm going to be spamming them. This is like the third day in a row I've worn them, and it's a small independent shoemaker company person guy, which is like way cooler to support honestly than like a bunch of these larger businesses anyways. So I am super thrilled on these shoes. They are 300 out of 10. I can't recommend them enough. And also I don't want to take these off, so I'm just gonna show you the cream pair like this because they're the black pair, but they're cream. Another pair of loafers, you will notice that, ooh, this is a long hair. Ew. You will notice that a lot of my favorite shoes are in fact loafers. I'm a loafer guy. What can I say? I'm a loafer guy. I love loafers. These are really fun because I got them in Rome on my first trip to Italy ever. I got them in a thrift store and I was a little unsure because they were very like thin, like the toe box was very thin, and I was just like, oh, I don't really wear slimmer fitting shoes. I like a wider toe box. I just think it looks cool, but you know what? I'm gonna take a chance and buy them anyways. They're like 30 bucks or something like that. And since then, these are my ultimate beater shoe. I know a lot of people will get like white sneakers and use them as beaters. These are my beaters. I wear them on planes. I wear them when my friends want to go out to bars or parties. I wear them if I have to go sometimes do something athletic, like anything where I'm like, I need to wear a shoe where I do not care if it gets a little beat up. I wear these. These are the most comfortable shoes I have ever worn in my entire life. They are vintage Barneys New York. And to be completely honest with you, I will be probably replicating this shoe for my own clothing brand one day in the future, just because they have so much like sentimental value to me now. They've been everywhere and back with me. I've hiked mountains. I have walked streets. I have traveled everywhere in these, and I just love them. I just love them. These are not loafers. These are Timberland 3-Eye Lug boat shoes, I believe. I actually got these as a collaboration with Timberland. It was from a brand deal from a long time ago. And I'll be honest, I was so on the fence about these at first. It's not that I really disliked them, but I just didn't know if they were like me. And so when they sent me these and said, hey, we would love to do the collaboration deal, I was like, okay, like, yeah, I would love to try out the shoes and see like if I like them, because, you know, I only really want to promote things that I genuinely do like. And I ended up wearing these in same story as the Ponder. Actually, I thought that they were going to be wildly uncomfortable, but they are so comfortable. They're so much more comfortable than I thought. The only thing that like kind of I feel like is not comfortable about them for me sometimes is this back part will sometimes rub like against my ankles and it'll hurt, but that's more of like an issue with my ankle rather than shoes. I've noticed that like my ankle bones protrude a lot, so they kind of, especially my left one, I mean not my left one, my right one, it'll hurt in like almost any pair of shoes I wear ever. So I don't necessarily know if that's a Timberland problem, although I will say that this is pretty like not like plush. It's very like a thick, I'm pretty sure it's just folded leather, so like it does hurt a little bit, I would say. But I brought these to New York when it was snowing, and they offered phenomenal traction, which, you know, makes sense. They're Timbs. I think the color on these is very rich and beautiful, and I mean, yeah, all I can say is I've enjoyed them much more thoroughly than I initially had anticipated. The laces are a little annoying. I will say sometimes they don't stay tied because of the shape, but the more that I've used them and the more that the leather is kind of broken and worn in, the better that the laces have like stayed tied. So I will give them that at least. Still not my favorite lace shape, but I do love these shoes and they are a go-to brown shoe for me. These are a really fun one. These are my Ballet flats from Camper. I really do love them. They are like they're Ballet flat Mary Janes, as you can see with like the big strap here. Like I said earlier, I really love Mary Janes. I really love Ballet flats. I will say they're a little bit harder for me to wear because I have very small feet in proportion to my height. So when I wear like these smaller, like tighter, daintier shoes, I will say it does make my feet look a little weirdly proportioned, which is not something that most people even notice, but you know, I'm inclined to notice more things about myself because I am me, and I typically have more time spent with my own body than other people do, you know what I'm saying? That being said, I do really love these. These are, again, a very good go-to, like, kind of throw-on shoe for me. I don't typically, like, wear, like, outfits, I guess would say, with these. They're more of, like, a lazy shoe, like, I just want to go out and about, I'll just throw these on. They're very comfortable. I really love flat, thin profiled shoes. The leather on these is very comfortable, and honestly, there's not much else to say other than, like, they're a very good, I guess, beater shoe for me, and yeah. Back to the loafers, we have these beautiful shoes from Bruno Magli. These are, I mean, everybody's first thought is obviously Bottega. That's the first thing you think of when you see intricatio, I think it's intricato, but like the woven leather kind of look is obviously a very big Bottega motif, but it's not like specifically a Bottega thing. It's just like kind of what they're known for. It is like a very old Italian leather practice. I'm pretty sure. Don't fact check me because I think that's right, but also I might be wrong. That being said, these were also a gifting. I'm realizing so many of these were giftings, but the nice part about giftings for a lot of these is like people will let me pick whatever I want from their sites. And obviously if it's something I don't want or a brand that I don't want, I'll normally just say, hey, you know, nothing really fits my closet at this time. So everything that I do get gifted, while being gifted, it is something that I genuinely wanted from the brand. These I have put so much wear into. I'm sure you can see like the bottom is absolutely destroyed. They are a little bit small. They recommended I size down because the leather stretches, and I will say they were tighter at first and the leather did stretch a lot, but these are again a beautiful dark brown sneaker loafer. The inside is really comfortable. I really love the leather they use inside, and honestly like the craftsmanship is just top quality. If I ever need a dark brown shoe, these are the first thing that I reach for. They are very classy, very chic, and I get so many compliments. Again, they sound great when I walk, and I will say that the more I've worn them, I don't know if you can tell, but they started to patina very, very well. Like this used to all be one uniform brown color, but now along all of these edges, especially some of the ledges, some of the edges of the leather this feels like a tongue twister. I feel like I'm like saying a tongue twister right now, but a lot of the edges are starting to wear into this lighter brown color. And so I just know that the more that I wear these over the years, I'll probably have these for the rest of my life. Again, something I want to pass on to my kids. The more that I wear these, I know the more they're just going to patina into this beautiful light brown, like along the edges and stuff. So another pair of shoes that, well, I mean, okay, I keep saying like another pair of shoes that I highly recommend, but like this video is about shoes that are my favorite shoes that I own. So like, I'm gonna stop saying that because it just goes without saying. These shoes, these beautiful, you know what I'm saying? These shoes are phenomenal. Oh my, I just need to take a second to just like, with these shoes. A stupid amount of money. I cannot believe I bought these, but I was in Paris with my friend Jeremy. I had been eyeing these for forever. I wanted them so bad, but they were just so expensive and I had spent so much money. A little context for the Paris trip. I had gone to Copenhagen prior, and the airline that I went with forgot all of my baggage for a week, so I had to buy an entire new wardrobe while I was there, and I was actually so frustrated. I just went a little bit kind of credit card crazy spending. Some of y'all might remember that vlog. I made bad financial decisions, and then I went to Paris and I was like, I cannot do this again. I need to be smart. And Jeremy, my friend, ended up basically being very persuasive and convincing me to make a large financial investment into these shoes. And to be honest, I am very glad that he did. I mean, look at the soles of these. You can see how much wear I've put into these. I have walked so much in these shoes. It is ungodly. They are so comfortable. They're so beautiful. The construction, the detail, like I just am so obsessed. The leather is so comfortable. It's so gorgeous. And I really, really love Lemaire as a brand. I think that they make absolutely incredible, they do incredible work. I love so much of just their design philosophy and the things they create. And these shoes are beautiful. I know so many people who got them in black. They're very popular in the black colorway, but I personally found the black colorway a little bit boring. I liked this cream colorway with like these tan soles a lot more. Also a funny story, I have two pairs of these in the same colorway. One is just in a suede, which I guess actually I might as well show you. Hold on, let me get up and go grab them. I'm telling you while I walk over, but I actually accidentally bought these in a suede, and I know you're gonna say, how did you accidentally buy these? These are like $800 shoes or something stupid like that. And well, here's the thing. I was looking for them in the beautiful leather that I just showed you, the exact pair that I showed you. I was looking for them, and then I found these on Essence, and there was only one pair left, and they were on sale, and I got scared that somebody was gonna buy them, so I just impulse bought them, and I didn't really realize, and I didn't really look at them. And when I got them, I was like, oh my gosh, these are suede with a crepe bottom. Like these are a different shoe than what I thought that I had bought. To be completely honest, I have wanted to get myself to sell them for a long time, but I just can't get myself to do it because these shoes are also incredible, and they do serve a little bit of a different purpose. Those other shoes are a little bit more dressy. These are a little bit better for walking just because of the crepe sole that they got on the bottom. And I do love the suede. Like, these for sure have their time and place. I don't need both of them, but I love them. I love them so much. I can't get myself to get rid of them, which is a problem, and I should, but I'm not going to do that. One thing you probably notice about a lot of my shoes is they are very worn. I believe in wearing shoes. Like, I think you can see these scuffs right here. I love the wear on shoes. I love when they get scuffed. I loved when the bottoms get messed up. I love when they get the creases. I love all of these just little signs of wear, because I fully believe in wearing clothes. I don't like the idea of buying something and not wearing it. I think going back to my Acne Studios loafers, this is one thing I do want to say to all of y'all is, like, if you buy shoes, if you buy any clothes, the wear on them should be something that excites you. Obviously, take care of them. Don't like destroy them needlessly. But like, if you scuff your shoe, your very expensive shoe, I understand if they're like right out of the package, but if you scuff your very expensive shoe on like the sidewalk or like on, you know, I don't know, a scuff causer. Wow, I'm really breaking down here. I don't think that's something you should be upset about. I think that you should really love the wear in it. Like, these have this giant scuff mark. I remember when I first got it, for a second I was like, it was like a, and I was like, you know what? This just shows that I'm living in these shoes. I'm walking in these shoes. Like, these are shoes that I love. And I think that's one way to really show something that you love and show your own style, is that you really live life in them. You don't baby them, but it's like I really, really love these, so I'm going to wear them and I'm going to use them. They're going to exist as part of my life because I love them. And I think that's just like such a phenomenal like love letter to the things that you love. There's just a friendly reminder: wear your clothes and don't be afraid to have something that looks lived in. These shoes people love. These are a fan favorite. I do like these shoes. I just find them hard to style, not because they are Mary Jane's, but because of the color. This is just a hard color for me to style because, I mean, the blue is just like, it's a beautiful blue. It's the most gorgeous. That's what drew me to these shoes originally, was just the color of these. These are from Labucq. Like I said, I love Mary Jane's. I really, really do love these. The leather on these is very, very nice. These shoes are pretty comfortable. The only problem that I have with them is like this part will like start to hurt my foot where it sits after a while, but that's like after I wear them for a long time and I'm walking around with them, which, you know, happens with any shoe that you walk in a lot. I wish that I could get them in more colorways, but unfortunately I do not have the money to afford them because Labucq is a very, very good shoemaker and their stuff is priced according to their lovely craftsmanship. That's really all I can say about them. I do love them. Like I said, fan favorite. People seem to love these a lot. People always ask me to bring those out, and it's been a while. So once we get to spring and once I move to New York, actually, I'm gonna be wearing those all the time because one, where I live, it's very conservative where I live. So like, it's not that I mind people judging me for my outfits, but sometimes after a while you just get to the point where you're like, I just want to wear something cool, but not like too crazy. Once I'm in New York, oh my God, I'm going to be off my rocker. I'm going to be wearing much crazier things than that. So I'm very excited for that. And the last shoes for today's video are actually these boots from Camper. These are crazy. These are one of the first things, I think, maybe one of the only things I'd ever been influenced to buy off of seeing them on like TikTok. I saw somebody post these and I think they were one of the first things ever where I like actually went through all 1,000 comments on the video until I could finally find somebody who said what these boots were because I love them so much. Disclaimer for this, I don't like boots. I'm not a boot guy. I don't like wearing boots. If you like boots, that's great for you. They're not my personal style. Frankly, I hate wearing them. I feel like they're just uncomfortable. I don't like the way they feel on my feet. I don't like the way it feels to walk in boots. I just do not like boots unless they're for very specific situations like rain. Like I'll wear like rain boots so that, you know, my socks don't get soaked. These boots are maybe one of, if not the only exceptions to that. I love wearing these. Again, the leather, like the feeling of leather is a big thing for me. These are very soft, very comfortable. They do not hurt my feet. I think that these just look really unique. They just have like just such a cool, interesting appeal to them that I'm obsessed with. And again, another shoe that is very like lived in. You can see all these scuffs. These are white shoes. There's like scuffs and marks and just all this stuff all over these shoes. Unfortunately, I did get these in a 43. These are one of the first things I ever bought with like when it comes to like, I don't know, fashion stuff online. And so I didn't really know my shoe size. size. I'm an EU 42, which I learned after having gotten these, but for some reason I decided not to go through the hassle of returning them and getting one size smaller because I was just an idiot. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I was thinking. Either way, like I said, these are the only boots. I don't know. There's just something about them that's different than all other boots in the entire universe that I've ever seen so far. And for that reason, I love them and I wear them. And that is it for shoes that I love. These are my favorite shoes that I wear consistently. I find myself constantly reaching for, and you'll see a lot of these. I'm sure I would have already overlaid a bunch of photo examples of me wearing most of these shoes. This actually doesn't count any of these sneakers. If you'd like for me to do a sneakers that I love video, I will also gladly do that. But if I did that today, this would end up being an hour-long video, and I don't really actually have time to film an hour-long video because I'm filming this right before I'm supposed to post it, and I still have to go edit this. Let me know what you think of these sneakers. I would love to hear your thoughts on them. Which ones are your favorite? What shoes? I think I just said sneakers. Leave your thoughts on the shoes. Let me know what shoes you think that I'm missing from my rotation. I would love to know. I would love to hear that. And yeah, any recs that you have. I always love searching new shoes or new companies or new anything. So leave whatever recommendations you have. I would love to see them. And again, I will be back with a sneaker video. But until then, thank you so much for tuning in. I love y'all so much. I'll see you in the next one, and deuces. God, this song is just so amazing.